Greetings, everyone. Well, I have a really interesting message for you today. First, I want to share what I heard, and immediately I went into this dream. It was all part of the same dream. But first I heard, herald the sound, follow the star. And immediately I saw myself standing in the upper room among the apostles. And as we were standing there, it reminded me of what it must have been like on the day of Pentecost. But as I was standing there, we could see through the open window the bright and shining moon, okay? And this is what I said. We could see that the brightness of the moon, and the camels are ready. Just outside and down, out the window and down onto the street, there were camels, and they were ready to ride. Okay, so then I turned and I looked at the men. I was the only woman among all these men, and I said to them, what if God chose a woman this time? That was a question to them, and they didn't respond, but immediately I was standing out on the street by the camels looking up at the brightness of the moon. So this is what I believe. I believe this is a message to the church, to the bride of Christ. And it is time for her to be heralding the good news, okay? It's time for her to sound the alarm. It's time for her to herald that sound, okay? And it can't be a time of compromise. We must become the mouthpiece or the trumpet to the world, okay? And we are sounding the alarm, the good news. Isaiah 52:7. How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him who brings the good news, who proclaims peace. Jesus is the Prince of Peace, who brings glad tidings of good things, who proclaims salvation. This is the day of salvation, who says to Zion, your God reigns. Okay, and we are to follow the star. Okay, remember, herald the sound, follow the star. That star is Jesus Christ. In Matthew 2, we have the account of Jesus being born, but the wise men, I want to read this, verse 1. Now after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, saying, where is he who has been born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and have come to worship him. Now, of course, they came before Herod, and Herod was like, hey, go find him and let me know, because I want to go worship him too. And of course, he was lying. He wanted to kill the baby. But, they left there. Verse 9 says, when they heard the king they departed, and behold, the star which they had seen in the east went before them till it came and stood over where the child was. Now, they traveled, quite a distance and took some time to get there, but they found the child, and they did it by following that star. So, okay, and what am I told here? Follow the star. Well, that star is Jesus Christ. We need to be following his light. Remember, it's the brilliance of his light. He is the light of the world, and he rests upon us. This is time, Isaiah 60 verse 1, arise, shine, for his light has come, and his glory is resting upon you, the bride of Christ. So it's time that we let that light, we must follow the light and be that light to others, okay? The camels are ready. Well, okay, I know Bobby Conner years ago had us, call forth our camels, okay? Call our camels in, okay? And that was quite the deal back then. But the camels are ready, and those camels, to me, it involves Holy Spirit and the bride of Christ and provision. If you look back at the account of Abraham sending his dearest friend and oldest companion out, Eleazar, he sends him out to find a bride for his son Isaac. Isaac was the child of promise, and he sent him out to find a bride. And this is really a story of, Eleazar representing Holy Spirit. And Holy Spirit, Eleazar took 10 camels loaded down with all these gifts. And just like Holy Spirit comes with all the gifts that he has been giving to the bride all this time. From the time that you were born again, he's been giving you gifts of the Spirit. So remember, he meets Rebecca. She draws water for the 10 camels, okay? And there's provision. And then, of course, she has opportunity to either go or to stay. And her family, they try to persuade her, just stay a few more days. And she said no. She realized the urgency that she must go meet this man and marry him. And I feel that's today. There's a real urgency. There's no time to, dally around with things. We must be ready. We must be ready to mount that camel. We must be ready to receive all that God has for us and be that light in the dark place to others, okay? We have come to that place. He wants to give us all that we have been promised, okay? But we must need to go forth. We can't sit at home with the remote control. We've got to go, all right? Now, I said, what if God would choose a woman this time? Well, what if he does? The Lord has had me trying to raise up the daughters of the dawn, and it isn't just for women, but it's time that women get motivated and begin doing all that they're called to do. If you read Psalm 68:11, the Lord gives the word of power, the women who bear and publish the news. They are a great host. Okay, now that's the amplified version, but I'm telling you, it is time that we, as the bride of Christ, begin moving in the fullness of what God has called us to, all right? Herald the sound. Release your trumpet. This is your trumpet, okay? Release the sound that God has given you. Follow him. Follow that bright star. I said I saw the brightness of that moon. It was a full moon, and it was so bright. The moon has no light of its own. Okay, it is totally a reflection of the sun, and I'm saying the S-O-N. We, the bride of Christ, represent the moon. We don't have light of our own. We get the light from the Lord. And it's I know I had a couple other dreams that I'm not going to share right now, but it was about the moon and the brightness of the moon and how it represented the glory of God. But it is time. We must arise and shine. We must go forth, trumpeting the good news, following his light. And women, it's time for you to arise, okay? It's time for the bride. What if God uses a woman this time? He's going to use a woman. He's always used a woman. He could not have birthed his son except through a woman, okay? And women are going to be used here once again, all right? Okay, I hope that this blesses you. Give us a thumb up if you enjoy it, and we will have more to share later, okay? Blessings.